Imagine this. To protect your son, your wife, and your entire kingdom, you must make a deal with a creature of pure darkness, and risk becoming the very monster people fear the most. Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Screen, where we break down the most intense and thrilling movies in just minutes. Today, we're diving into Dracula Untold, a dark action fantasy from 2014 that tells the untold origin story of how Vlad the Impaler became the legendary Dracula. It follows Vlad, the Prince of Transylvania, who once fought as a brutal soldier for the Ottoman Empire. Now, he just wants peace for his people. But when the Sultan demands 1,000 boys, including Vlad's own son, to be taken as soldiers, he's forced to make an unthinkable choice. To protect his family and his kingdom, Vlad seeks help from a creature of pure darkness. Now, with unimaginable power flowing through his veins, Vlad has just 3 days to defeat the Sultan's army. But if he gives in to his thirst for blood, he'll be cursed as a vampire forever. Can he save his people without losing his soul? Or will the hero of Transylvania become the monster the world will fear for centuries? Let's break down Dracula Untold, step by step. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a recap. Let's get into Dracula Untold. So, right at the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Vlad, the Prince of Transylvania. Back when Vlad was a child, he was taken as a slave by the Ottoman Empire, along with 1,000 other children from Transylvania. During his time there, he was trained as a soldier, and after years of battle and countless killings, he became one of the most feared warriors of the empire. This earned him the title Vlad the Impaler and Son of the Dragon. However, Vlad later regretted his past actions and returned to Transylvania, determined to rule his kingdom peacefully. Things went smoothly for a while, but one day, while wandering through the forest with his men, they came across a Turkish soldier's helmet floating in a stream. This made Vlad suspicious. He thought a group of Turkish soldiers might be preparing for an attack. Wasting no time, Vlad sent Dumitru and a few others back to his castle, Castle Dracula, to prepare. Meanwhile, he and 2 of his soldiers headed towards Broken Tooth Mountain, suspecting that Turkish soldiers might be resting there. So, Vlad and his men reach the mountain and come across a cave. Curious, they decide to explore it. As they step inside, they notice something eerie. Bones shattered into dust scattered all over the cave floor. And then, out of nowhere, a strange unknown creature lurking in the darkness attacks them. The fight is brutal, and one by one, Vlad's men fall. But Vlad manages to survive, only because by sheer luck, he stumbles into a spot where sunlight seeps into the cave, forcing the creature to retreat. Shaken but alive, Vlad rushes back to his castle. There, he meets a local monk and tells him about the terrifying creature he encountered. The monk listens carefully and then reveals a shocking truth. This was no ordinary being. It was a bloodthirsty vampire. The monk explains that this creature made a pact with a demon, which is why it became what it is. And now it must find someone else to take its place in order to be freed. Taking in everything he has just learned, Vlad tells the monk to keep this a secret. He then returns to his castle, acting as if nothing has happened. He spends time with his wife, Marina, and their son, Ingeris, talking happily, without mentioning a word about the vampire. The next day, during the Easter celebrations, Vlad, Marina, Ingeris, and the rest of their people gather to enjoy the festival. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a group of Turkish soldiers arrives at the castle. Vlad remains calm and welcomes them. As per tradition, he offers them silver coins as tribute, a payment meant to maintain peace between the Ottoman Empire and Transylvania. But the soldiers are not satisfied. They accuse Vlad of killing one of their scouting troops, which had gone missing. Vlad firmly denies the accusation, saying he had nothing to do with it. However, things take a turn for the worse when the soldiers make a shocking demand. They inform Vlad that the Sultan requires 1,000 boys, all above the age of 10, to be taken and trained as soldiers for the Ottoman army. This enrages Vlad. Without hesitation, he outright refuses. The following day, determined to settle this matter, Vlad decides to meet with Sultan Mehmed II himself to discuss the situation. As Vlad and Mehmed continue their conversation, Vlad makes a bold offer. He tells Mehmed to take him instead of the 1,000 children. But Mehmed rejects the offer. Instead, he makes an even more shocking demand. He wants not only the 1,000 boys, but also Vlad's son, Ingeris. Left with no choice, Vlad prepares to hand over Ingeris to the Turkish soldiers. But just as he is about to do so, the soldiers smirk and say, "We expected more resistance from you." At that moment, Vlad orders Ingeris to run to Marina. Then, in a furious rage, he fights the soldiers single-handedly, cutting them all down one by one. Now, Knowing that Mehmed will declare war on Transylvania for this, Vlad makes a desperate decision. He returns to Broken Tooth Mountain, seeking help from the vampire hiding within the cave. After climbing the treacherous mountain once more, Vlad steps into the dark cave. As he cautiously explores the eerie silence, the vampire emerges from the shadows and glares at him. "Why have you returned?" the vampire asks. "No one has ever come back here, but this time, you won't leave." Vlad, unfazed, looks him in the eye and replies, "The Turks are coming to destroy my kingdom. I need your help. I need to protect my people and my family." The vampire listens and then makes an offer. He extends his wrist and tells Vlad to drink his blood. He explains, "If you drink this, you will gain unimaginable power. For 3 days, you will become a vampire. But if you resist the overwhelming thirst for human blood, you will return to being a man. However," he pauses, his voice turning sinister, "if you give in and drink human blood, then you will remain a vampire forever. And when that happens, I will be freed from this darkness, and you will be bound to serve me." Determined to save his kingdom, Vlad accepts the risk and drinks the vampire's blood. Almost instantly, he collapses, unconscious. When he finally awakens, he finds himself in the middle of a dark forest. He feels different, stronger. He realizes his senses have sharpened. He can hear distant sounds with incredible clarity and see things far beyond human eyesight. But then he notices something else. His silver ring is burning his skin. With a grim understanding, he removes it and instead wears it around his neck. Just then, he hears the distant echoes of an attack. The sounds are coming from his castle. Without hesitation, he rushes toward it, only to discover another shocking ability. As he moves, his body transforms, merging into a swirling mass of bats that flies at an unimaginable speed. Arriving at his castle, Vlad sees the Turkish soldiers launching their assault. But now, he is no ordinary man. Using his newfound strength, speed, and power, he unleashes absolute carnage upon them. One by one, he slaughters them in a brutal, relentless fight. Alone, yet unstoppable, Vlad the Impaler is reborn. After the battle, Dimitru and his group arrive, only to be met by Vlad, who warns them, "Do not ask what happened on this land tonight." He then adds, "We are no longer safe here. We must leave immediately for the Kozia Monastery." Without hesitation, they set off. Meanwhile, Mehmed receives the shocking news. Vlad has single-handedly defeated 1,000 of his soldiers. Enraged, he begins preparing a much larger force, an army of 100,000, to march towards Dracula's castle. As night falls, the people of Transylvania pause their journey to rest. Inside his tent, Vlad begins seeing strange visions. Unsettled, he steps outside, where he is confronted by a man named Shkelgim. Recognizing Vlad for what he truly is, a vampire, Shkelgim offers his own blood for Vlad to drink, but Vlad resists, scaring the man away instead. The next morning, Vlad hides inside his tent, shielding himself from the sunlight. Marina, noticing his distress, asks him what's wrong. In response, Vlad deliberately steps into the sunlight, revealing the horrific effect it has on his body. He then tells her everything that happened on Broken Tooth Mountain. Later, as the villagers prepare to continue their journey, Dimitru approaches Vlad. Seizing the moment, Marina steps out of the tent and lies to Dimitru, saying that Vlad has gone ahead to scout the Turkish forces. She then suggests they leave before he returns. Meanwhile, Mehmed and his massive army arrive near Dracula's castle. Seeing the aftermath of Vlad's rampage, he is consumed with rage. Back on the road, the people of Transylvania continue their journey, even as night falls once again. Darkness sets in, and Vlad quickly rushes out of his tent, realizing he must find and protect his people. At that very moment, Turkish soldiers ambush the villagers. Chaos erupts as they desperately fight back. Vlad arrives just in time, using his incredible strength to strike down the enemy soldiers. He manages to save Marina, Ingaris, and many others. But the battle comes at a terrible cost. Dimitru is struck down by a Turkish soldier and does not survive. Finally, Vlad and his people arrive at Kozia Monastery, preparing for the inevitable battle against Mehmed and his army. Meanwhile, Mehmed learns that Vlad has gained the power of dark magic. Realizing the threat, he orders all his soldiers to blindfold themselves before engaging in battle against Vlad and his forces. As this unfolds, a monk named Lucian notices Vlad avoiding sunlight and immediately recognizes what he has become, a vampire. Seizing the opportunity, Lucian exposes Vlad to the sunlight, revealing his true nature to the villagers. Horrified, they turn against him, trapping him inside a tent and setting it ablaze. But as darkness falls, Vlad emerges from the burning wreckage, furious. He glares at the villagers and shouts, "You are all alive because of me. Everything I have done was to save you." That night, As Mehmed and his vast army reach the outskirts of Kozia Monastery, preparing for battle, Vlad suddenly realizes he has the power to control bats. Embracing his newfound ability, he unleashes a terrifying swarm of bats upon the Turkish army, attacking them with ruthless ferocity. Amidst the chaos, Vlad fights his way through the enemy ranks, determined to reach and kill Mehmed. But while the battle rages on, a small group of Turkish soldiers secretly infiltrates Kozia Monastery, attempting to abduct Ingeris. Marina, seeing the danger, fights desperately to protect her son. In the struggle, she is thrown from the monastery's heights, her scream piercing the night. Hearing her cry, Vlad rushes to save her, but he is too late. As she lies dying, Marina looks into Vlad's eyes and whispers, "At sunrise, you will become human again. But my time is over. Drink my blood, Vlad. Save Ingeris." In the end, though reluctant, Vlad begins to drink Marina's blood. As he does, the ancient vampire hidden in the darkness of Broken Tooth Mountain's cave is finally freed. With his transformation complete, Vlad returns to the monastery and offers his own blood to the few survivors, turning them into vampires with one purpose: vengeance against the Turks. After bidding farewell to Marina, Vlad, now a fully realized vampire with immense power, leads his new vampire army straight into the Turkish camp. With no mercy, they slaughter every Turkish soldier in sight, wiping them out completely. Meanwhile, Vlad makes his way to the tent where Mehmed is holding Ingeris captive. But as soon as he steps inside, he realizes it's a trap. Mehmed, knowing that vampires are weakened by silver, has covered the ground with silver coins and wields a silver sword, ready for battle. Determined to save his son, Vlad engages in a brutal fight with Mehmed. Weakened by the silver, Vlad struggles, and Mehmed overpowers him, driving a wooden stake into his chest in an attempt to kill him. But in the blink of an eye, Vlad transforms into a swarm of bats, escaping death. Reappearing behind Mehmed, Vlad seizes the wooden stake and drives it through Mehmed's heart. As Mehmed gasps for breath, Vlad leans in and drinks his blood, declaring, "I am Dracula, the son of the devil." As Vlad and Ingeris step out of the tent, the other vampires immediately turn their attention to Ingeris, ready to kill him because he is still human. Just then, Lucian arrives, holding a Christian cross in his hand. The light from the cross forces the vampires to back away from Ingeris. Though reluctant, Lucian takes Ingeris and leads him away to safety. Meanwhile, Vlad, using the last of his power, clears the dark clouds from the sky. As the sunlight breaks through, it burns Vlad and the other vampires, reducing them all to dust. Vlad himself is left as a charred corpse. With Vlad the Impaler presumed dead, Ingeris is crowned the new prince of Transylvania. However, in secret, Shkelgim retrieves Vlad's lifeless body and revives him by feeding him blood. Years later, in the modern era, Vlad is seen walking through the streets of a bustling city. There, he encounters a woman named Mina, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Marina. Intrigued, he approaches her and begins a conversation. As they walk together, in the distance, the ancient vampire from Broken Tooth Mountain watches them closely. With a sly smile, he whispers, "Let the games begin." And with that, this incredible movie comes to an end. And that's the story. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next movie breakdown. Got a favorite film you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one on Real Screen.